How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Legitimately, thank you so fucking much for doing this. This is means so much to me, man.
Yeah, no worries.
I got there's gonna be like some really like deep cut questions, so just get prepared, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll do my best. If
Okay.
I don't have a very good memory of stuff, so I'll do what I can.
Okay. My first question was 2014. Yeah, you guys have done a song called "Crawl" or "Dog Food World," and you did it like during a show where you guys were like just introducing a bunch of stuff for Untethered Moon and When the Wind Forgets Your Name. So I was wondering, like, did that ever get recorded at all?
It did. So it's two songs that just sort of one goes into the other. They got recorded, and they recorded for Untethered Moon, and just left off the record because whatever. Just the record was a little tighter without them.
Okay. Do you have that recording at all? Do you know?
There's something around. See if I can find it.
Okay.
And I feel like Crawl is something that I feel like I want to do something with, or like kind of deconstruct and make a better song out of ideas of it.
Yeah, the live recording that I have I love that song. It's so just like hard and harsh. I could totally see it fitting on the previous either Untethered Moon or When the Wind, but yeah, it's something new. But
there's a little part of it that's like a little instrumental break in the song that we put out a long time ago too. Is like a
for like that strange B-side.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, like the instrumental number 2, I think it's called.
Maybe so. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that got recycled back into that. And
okay.
But yeah, I haven't really messed around with it since back then, but I like enough stuff about it that I think it could be turned into something.
Okay. So similar-ish question, but going way back. Like right when you guys were starting to tour in '97, there was like this instrumental that you guys did, and then there was one recording with lyrics. I don't think it was ever given a title. It was just called "It Took a Long Time." Do you like remember the song at all?
I do. You know what? Since you sent me that thing, I looked at. I finally got around to looking at your YouTube stuff, and so I saw the song on there. And yeah, it was something. It was kind of built around Brett playing around with the delay pedal for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the only time. I don't know if he ever did it again. So it's Brett's riff playing with the delay pedal. And I don't know whatever happened to it. I have no idea. I remember liking it, thinking it was a pretty cool song, and just slipped through the cracks somehow. There's not many of those, but that's what happened to that one.
Someone had commented on that video saying that like you guys had like it was like an instrumental written for Perfect From Now On, and then it was like eventually dropped.
I don't even remember like what time period it was. I feel like Perfect From Now On was really stuff that I brought in. Everything was stuff I brought in. So it feels like it must have been before that or after.
Okay, interesting.
Probably more of a keep it like a secret kind of time period, but I'm not sure about it. That. It's just kind of a jam thing, and we weren't really jamming on Perfect From Now On time. It was keep it like a secret.
Sure.
We started jamming together.
There's like a couple like live bootlegs where like that's the opener for the show. The one with with lyrics, you like introduce like, oh hey, we're doing a bunch of new stuff for our new record. And then like go into like keep it like a secret, like early recordings with like different like lyrics and stuff. So I always thought like possibly it was gonna like it had been recorded for the album, but just kind of a more.
I don't think I'm pretty sure we didn't even record it at all, like any version at all in the studio of it. I could be wrong. It could be maybe at some point we did a take of it, just a rough thing that never got any overdubs, but I don't remember at all.
Okay. You brought up in a couple interviews that the Perfect From Now On demos were thrown out, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Mm-hmm.
But I was wondering, do you still have the
demos?
Yeah, the home demos. But do you still have that first version with Peter on drums at all?
No, not really. But the demos, those all got thrown out, and then just a few months ago, Peter reached out to me and said he has a CD of the demos.
Wait, really?
So yeah, I'm waiting to hear them. Actually, tomorrow, I've been waiting a few months for someone to bring them to me, and tomorrow Teresa is coming to town, and she has it because he gave it to.
No kidding.
To her when Prison Bitch was playing up there. So, but I'm curious to what it sounds like, and
Yeah.
I'll figure out a way to get it over to you. I think I'm not sure what I want to do with you and all your stuff. I'm definitely down with sharing stuff with you, and I think it's fine, your YouTube stuff.
Well, thank
but
you.
At the same time, it's hard for me to want to. I also don't want it to be there in a way, but I mean,
Sure.
it's a small enough amount of people that are listening to it, and I feel like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's also a little bit weird for me to be putting stuff out into the world that isn't supposed to really be out there, kind of.
Sure.
But I'm not upset with you at all, right? It's not
Okay.
that kind of thing. Oh, yeah. No, I don't think you're doing anything wrong or anything at all.
Sure. I understand. Like, kind of putting out demos is, or like just like supposed to be these private things is kind of like going out to the world is probably kind of weird, I would assume.
Yeah, but I also, not that many people. It's a small enough group of people that care about it, and I think it's kind of cool. And I found a couple things on there I was really surprised at. I was like the Stab demo. I don't.
Yeah, that one. Actually, that was another question I had. I think it's like this home, like a couple home demos of just like a bunch of stuff that you did like right when you were doing the first album. And it just was.
Stuff.
Yeah, because it was just called Insect Theater Demos. That's just like what it was given a title, and I don't know how official that is.
That was kind of the first name for Built to Spill, was Insect Theater.
No kidding, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
A friend of mine made up the term, and it's not really like bugs. It's insect is like meaning just like the most primitive, like primitive theater or something,
Oh, okay. There's a decent amount that is like just a couple like where it's just like it's like 4-track demos more or less. There's a good chunk of the first album. Like there's like first song 3 years ago, Shameful Dread is, and then there's a couple normal year stuff because I'm assuming you probably like was working on that around the same time. And then there's just a bunch of just like random instrumentals that like. I mean, I doubt you like remember the name of or.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of that stuff at all. Or that song.
Sure.
There's a song with Karina and me singing together.
Oh, God Wrote a Song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just me and Karina just fucking around.
Is Ben on the recording too?
Nope, that's all Karina. Ben was born in '94. He was born right before we recorded There's Nothing Wrong with Love.
So similar with the Peter on drums, Perfect From Now On, I know that Nelson and Pluff had left, like when you guys were working on the Untethered Moon, but did you guys ever record anything with those two as in the backing band still?
I'm not sure. I know that like Living Zoo was something that I worked on with Brett, but I think we did it under Farm Days. I can't remember what year it was, but we did a reunion thing of Farm Days and played with this guy Ian, who was our sound guy for years. And we did a bunch of old Farm Day songs, and we had so much fun doing it we decided to keep going and write some new songs. So tried that one with them, and so I think we worked on a little bit, one or two others. Never Be the Same, but like a rock version of it, and then there was
interesting,
and then a few of the songs. Also, a little before that, I think we tried doing a Halo Benders reunion thing. We definitely worked on Living Zoo was part of that time, and I can't remember if we worked on any of the other ones. So yeah, some of those songs got played by other people for sure. Okay,
yeah, because that was one of my other questions was that I heard that Gonna Lose was going to be a reunion track for the Halo Benders. Is that true?
I don't remember. I feel like that song is later, that it wasn't that. But I can't remember. Yeah, I don't think we played it even with Brett and Scott. I think the Halo Bender stuff was before Brett and Scott quit. So I'm pretty sure it was just first done with those guys with Jay and Steve.
And then were you aware that there's a Calvin song called Platinum Slumbers, which sounds like a hell of a lot like Living Zoo? Were you aware of that at all?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's
no.
almost the same melody and everything.
Huh. I wonder if I heard it and just didn't put it together. I'll check it out. Because we
Yeah,
did work on Living Zoo a little bit,
Okay.
Of it. So maybe did some stuff. We kind of had a couple of attempts to reunite, and one of the times we were both working on kind of blue or whatever stripped down folky blues kind of stuff, and we tried collaborating on that stuff, and we ended up just going our separate ways and making solo records. And then we had another time where we got together with like a band. It wasn't the original band. Netson was playing with us, and Steve was playing keyboards with us. And that's when we did like, Living Zoo and a bunch of other stuff. We had like a dozen or more songs, and a lot of it was really cool, but it just, I don't know what happened, but we just sort of kind of petered out. It kind of seemed like too much work for us or something at the time.
Sure.
We couldn't quite get it all organized into cohesive songs.
Okay. So 95, it was a 3-piece of you, James Bertram, and Dave Schneider on drums. What do you remember of that lineup?
Well, I wanted to change the lineup up for just to move on and start something new, and those guys were had played in one of my favorite bands at the time, Link, and Link had broken up, and so I just reached out to them, and it was fun. They were both like, it was like a pretty punk band. Dave was like a really limited drummer, but he had a lot of cool energy, and so it was a real punked out kind of version of the band. It was pretty aggressive. I loved playing with them. Because
that lineup was like barely a year long before it had switched back
all we did was tour. We toured the States and a little bit of Europe, I think. Was that them? Yeah, that was them on the we did the Foo Fighters stuff with those guys.
Yeah.
And John McMahon played cello with us on some of it. The European part for sure. And then then I signed to Warner Brothers and started working on Perfect from Now On, and didn't want to have a band, just wanted to do it myself with a drummer and a good drummer. I wanted to have like a more versatile drummer than Dave was at the time.
Sure. So in every band you've done, whether it's Bill Spill, Tree People, Halo Benders, or your solo stuff, you've done a Smiths cover, I've noticed. Like you've done for Real Around the Fountain, for Bill Spill, Big Mouth, for Tree People, Please Let Me Go What I Want with Halo Benders. You did like The Centers Open My Eyes when you did your live tours. So I was wondering like what makes the Smiths such a universal band for you to cover?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I've always loved them. They're, definitely one of my favorite bands in high school, and they're really special, just really unique, and they're one of the few bands as a teenager that when I heard them, I was like blown away right away, and I liked everything about them. There's a lot of bands I listened to as a teenager, and even stuff that I liked a lot, like David Bowie was kind of my biggest guy, but even with him, there was like a lot of hit and miss, and the Smiths were just dead on.
Sure.
And I can't really think of much else that was like that, but I just felt like we're just so good. They lost me a little bit when they added keyboards because I was such a snob when I was a teenager. But certainly Hatful of Hollow is just a perfect record. Just everything about it, the vibe of it, and the guitar playing was just beyond my comprehension, and the lyrics are so funny and sad and sweet. Just everything about them was, and just all the melodies and chord progressions are just so beautiful to me.
Hatful of Hollow, is that your favorite Smiths album?
Yeah, I mean, that was the first thing I heard, so that's kind of how I think a lot of people are with stuff. The first thing that really blew my mind. I just like the rawness of it, and just the raw, stripped down version of them. So great.
So similar kind of question, like what are some of your favorite covers that you've done over the years from any bands that you were part of?
I don't know. I mean, I think I pretty much love them all. I mean, maybe here and there's been a song that someone else wanted to play that I've gone along with. I didn't like it
Okay.
much, but I feel like I pretty much have picked all the covers. So they're usually things I like a lot, and I don't know. There's a couple. I guess there's things that like I take particular pride in. The Captain Beefheart song. It was a song.
I love that one.
I don't even understand, like, you know, listening to it, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? I thought it was just going to be so impossible to even learn how to do. So it was such a challenge to learn how to do it and hear it all come together. And, you know, I still don't really understand what the bass and the drums or the other guitars are doing. It's such a bizarre song. That whole time period when we first brought Steve and Jay into the band and we taught them a bunch, you know, they learned a bunch of Spill songs, and we also learned just tons of covers. I don't know what we were doing, but I had a blast doing it. I don't know if we were just doing it for fun or if it was something for us to all learn about music together or something. But yeah, learning all those covers was kind of the funnest time for me, you know.
Yeah, there's that great, for when you guys did Tree Fort back in like 2014, you guys did a whole set of covers. Like a Devo cover and then like 80s like Dylan. It's so like varied and great, which is so fun to me.
Yeah, thanks. It was really, really fun to do that.
Also, for the Boise cover band album, I was like thought it was very funny how like you're doing like these old like 50s songs, like the Loving Pauper, which is like one of my favorites off that album. A Captain Beefheart song is just like, but still making it sound like so pretty and sweet. It was just so, like very funny to me.
I heard, and I don't know how true this is because it's such a beautiful song, but I heard it was kind of a little bit of a, I don't even believe it. I don't even want to say it because I think it's bullshit.
Okay. All right.
I read somewhere that it was kind of like a fuck you to the record label, like, you know, if you want a hit song or, you know, here's what.
Oh, interesting.
Here's a stupid hit song kind of a thing. But it's too beautiful to me to think that someone would do something like that.
Just slap it together.
In an ironic way, or
sure,
way to make fun of that kind of music. It's obviously, you know, such a great song and performed so beautifully by them.
So he's a real deep cut. I'd love to know the story behind Save Me, which is like a song that you did for like Rotating Tongues compilation in 2009. I personally am in a band that uses an omnichord, so it's very awesome hearing you do an original on it. So I was kind of wondering, like, what's the story behind that? Was it written for the compilation, or was it just kind of a piece you had lying around?
I just had it lying around. The compilation, I'm sure you know, the whole concept was that you had to write a song. It was like you had a month or two before the show, and everyone was supposed to write a song in that time period specifically for the show.
Oh, interesting.
And
okay.
I didn't do that. But I had that song lying around because I was playing with the omnichord a little bit. And then I did my version at the show, and I didn't have or what happened was my batteries were dying.
Oh, no.
It was all like at the wrong speed.
Oh, really?
So
interesting.
I didn't use the live version. I ended up going home and making a recording of the song and kind of cleaning it up and, you know, doubling my vocals, I think. So it's like it's a home studio version. It's not really live. Oh,
interesting. Okay. So I got to know the story behind the Tim and Eric cover. Like, was the band like a fan of the show? Were you guys asked to do it?
Yeah, we a long time ago we met Bob Odenkirk and then kind of kept in touch with them a little bit. And so when Tim and Eric showed up, it was a time when I was just sort of talking to Bob a little bit. He was like he told me about them when the Tom Visits the Mayor show first came on. He kind of told me about them, you know, that I would like it, and so I started watching it. And then when Tim and Eric started, I really loved it. And then we were in LA playing a show. We had a day off, and I can't remember. I can't remember if I, you know, asked Bob if those guys would want to go to the show or something. And he was like, "Oh yeah, they're fans. If you want to go visit them and stuff." And I was like, "No, they're not, but we'll go visit them if we can." And so a friend of mine who's just on tour with us, he and I went to their studio, and they were like filming a show that day, and they hung out with us a little bit. They were really sweet, and they actually they shot a scene, and we were watching them shoot a scene, and I started laughing, like when they're shooting a scene, and it ended up in an episode. You just hear me laughing in the background. I was so embarrassed, but they were like, they loved it. They were like, "Oh,
that's great. That's awesome."
And then they showed us an episode. They showed us the latest episode, like in a little screening room that just finished being edited. And it had that song on it. And then I think just right then and there, they were like, "Well, we're putting out this compilation. You should do that. You should do this song." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. That's I don't know if I'm up for that." And they're just, I was like, "I don't know if it'll really be funny." And they're like, "Oh no, it'll be funny." And I was like, "All right, well, you guys think it'll be funny? I'll do it." And then we just recorded it while we were on tour. A month later or something. We were just on tour, and we just learned it at a sound check and recorded it at the sound check, and then I think I overdubbed the vocals, and that was that.
Oh, really? What was the process like for the Electric Anthology project, and would you consider doing something like that again?
Yeah, that's just Brett and Nelson. I barely, all I did was sing.
Oh, okay.
I just sang the songs, and he did everything else. He recorded them, played everything, picked out the songs. So it's totally a Brett Nelson thing. But I think there was someone said it was my project, but it wasn't me at all. It was just I just did the vocals. And then he did a couple other ones. He did one with Jay Maskus, and I can't remember what else he did.
He did one with Death Cab for Cutie, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but I love it. I think he's really amazing. But I don't think he's doing anything like that again. And I would never do it because we've already done a Built to Spill one, and all I did was singing. He has had a few bands. His last band was Sick Wish, and I think they just stopped playing. But I can't imagine him ever not making music. He's definitely he was the first person that got me into the idea of making music at all. He's been doing it since he was in junior high school, so we're in grade school, I guess. He probably got his first keyboard, so he's been wanting to make music and making it since he was a little kid. And that was back before many little kids were doing that, especially in Twin Falls, Idaho. There wasn't there was no one like him. He had the first new wave haircut in town, shit like that.
To go back to the Farm Day stuff, when you guys were doing those reunion shows, did you have the old record? Because I heard that there was recordings done on a boom box. Now, would you have listen back to those, or did you just have to remember how those songs went?
No, we listened to stuff and stuff again. I mean, it's all pretty simple. I think especially because it was all when we were teenagers, and I think things you learn when you're a teenager stick with you pretty good. So I felt like a lot of that stuff I knew, and I kind of ripped off a couple Farm Days things over the years, or thought about reworking a Farm Days song here and there into a new Bill song or something. So some of it was just stuff every once in a while I'd play something when I picked up a guitar. We had those demos. The record is called In the Barn. It was recorded in a basement. It wasn't in a barn.
It was just just cassette.
Yeah,
it was professionally.
Box and hit every note. It was just a microphone on a boom box, and I didn't even have a microphone. We just played, and I was standing next to the boom box and singing into the speaker, into the microphone. Very, very live.
There's a demo for Shortcut that reuses the song All Our Yesterdays from Farm Days, in the intro, which I thought was really interesting. And then
can't remember.
And then there's Bed of Nails, which later was on the first Tree People release, the No Mask Pipetting.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
completely different.
Yeah. But there's something else too. a Tree People song that we recorded at Fort Apache called Anything's Impossible. Do you know that one?
That's on Cloud. It's in what's the album called? It's the one with like the pink guy on it. I can't remember.
Oh, you know what? I think we did maybe another version of it there that was really good that I just forget about. But anyway, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
On that record too. Just Kidding, I think maybe.
Just Kidding. Yes, that's it.
But anyway, we did a version might have come out on some CZ EP or something, but a better version of. But anyway, yeah, that song was mostly based on a Farm Day song too.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So when you were doing stuff for Now You Know, how much were you okay, this is going to be on the solo album, and then how much was this might be Built to Spill stuff?
You know what? None of it was supposed to be on anything. It was just me. I was just trying to learn how to play with a slide and play with tuning, like blues style. All the things were just little exercises. And I would just play these little riffs. Instead of learning real blues songs, I'd just make up my own little riffs and parts and just practice.
Okay.
So I did that for a while and then decided to make them into songs. And then just for myself, and then Warner Brothers ended up putting it out. So it's kind of like no intention to be Built to Spill or anything, just kind of ended up coming together and turning into something. And then a couple of the things, ended up on Ancient Melodies, a couple of the ideas, like You Are and Happiness.
Oh. Yeah, I remember listening to Happiness and feeling like that was definitely an outtake from Now You Know.
Yeah.
A very funny story. I was at my record store and I was hanging out with my friend and I was just checked through Built to Spill and I found Now You Know on vinyl, which I had never seen before, and I legit made such a loud sound that 5 people stopped and looked at me, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And my friend was like, what is the problem? I'm like, dude, I have never seen this album on vinyl before.
Oh, that's sweet.
Well, because I know Normal Years was never put out on vinyl.
Right.
Would you ever consider putting that one on vinyl, or is that kind of more just because it's a compilation?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not too involved in that stuff, and I kind of have been trying to get the Warner Brothers catalog pressed again, just because a lot of people ask about it. It'd be nice to have some stuff on tour and to sell. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, I'm not that interested that I've tried to do anything. And yeah, the Normal Years is something that I actually really don't. It's hard for me to listen to anything that we've done back in those days, for sure. It's hard for me to listen to anything. There's things here and there that I think sound good, that I'm happy with and proud of. Definitely everything from the 90s I don't like to listen to. I don't like the quality of my voice and the way I play guitar. I feel like I didn't really do a very good job of, I worked hard and I tried my best, but I didn't really have my voice back then, and I wasn't a very good guitar player because I spent all my time making up parts but never really rehearsing them, and we didn't tour a bunch, so I never got to, get to be a good guitar player. And I don't think I'm a great guitar player, but I definitely play a lot better than I did back then. I have a lot better understanding of tone and how to, get a cool feel out of parts and how to make things clear. I feel like on a lot of that old stuff, the guitar playing kind of gets all mushed together because I didn't understand how to play in a way that made things pop out in a cool way.
How is the process? Because since you guys are doing that Nothing Wrong with Love tour later this year, how did it feel having to go back and redo and relearn all those songs again?
Well, we do about half of them already, but yeah, that's a good example. I couldn't even listen to it. I kept trying to listen to it to try to work on it, and I just hated everything about it, and then finally I just kind of realized that we're just going to do things differently. We're going to do songs as if I'd written them today and the way that I treat them. So there's certain things about them that are, there's things about the songs I totally like and I'm happy with, but as far as trying to play them or sing them the way I did back then, I'm not interested in that at all. I mean, we'll do different kind of versions of them.
I'm really interested to see like how you guys do stuff like songs like Fling, like how the three-piece would do that live.
We're actually gonna have John McMahon. Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about that. That's actually the saving grace to me of this whole thing. And he and I, we haven't practiced very much, but gotten together a few times, and every time I'm just not excited at all, and then I start playing with him, and I get really excited. Tomorrow's our first real rehearsal. The ladies.
Oh, sweet.
So we'll see what we start to sound like as a whole band.
Yeah, because I recently worked on like a Nothing Wrong with Love live, where I like compiled a bunch of like live recordings from like 95 to 2000,
cool.
and like kind of did the album order, but just all like live versions.
Nice. Yeah, even like back then we did them live. They changed a lot. So
yeah,
and that's a thing too. I know that there's going to be a few people that are bummed that it doesn't sound like the record and stuff, but most people, I think most Built to Spill fans, can appreciate things being changed.
Yeah, like if you want to listen to the record, then listen to the record.
Exactly, and hopefully some people will agree with me that it sounds better the way we're doing things now. But there's a youthful energy and stuff that's interesting, and there's records by bands that I think are their best records, and they think are horrible. Maybe the Smiths think that Hatful of Hollows the shittiest thing they ever did. I don't know.
Morrissey probably just hates all their albums. Question relating to Nothing Wrong with Love. It's always been interesting to me how anytime you do Twin Falls, you always change the last line. Is there a reason for that? Was it like just like you didn't care for how it sounded when you recorded it, or?
I don't remember. I don't know if I can't remember. Like at some point, if I changed it or if there was an alternate lyric and I just chose one or the other. But I kind of thought for a long time that I was singing. I was pretty sure that was the right lyric, and I was listening back to it, learning the record. I was like, oh yeah, it's that other one. So it's neither here nor there. It's just another thing to say.
Actually, that kind of leads into another question, which is there any songs or like lyrics that you look back on now that you're like are kind of like regretful for, or like, oh man, I really wish I hadn't done it like that?
Oh, yeah, here and there. I'm pretty satisfied with it though, for the most part. I feel pretty good about most of what I released lyrically wise. There's things like, Fling is pretty embarrassing, but it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing before I ever recorded it, and it was just a song as a kind of a private joke song. And then when I decided to make it onto the record, I was like, I'm going to change the lyrics, and then I tried to, and I just thought that it wasn't right, that it was done, and that's what it was, and have to live with it. And that was at a time too when it was more taboo, that especially with like the internet and internet pornography and things, the culture has opened up a lot more. But like back in those days, to talk about masturbating was like a really, like a weak thing to do.
Sure.
So it was embarrassing, but I was just like, oh well, what the fuck. It was also at a time when it was before I imagined that there was ever an audience for the band. Like Tree People didn't have much of an audience, it was mostly our friends and a handful of people, and Built to Spill was even less. So it was really just kind of, that record was just, it was definitely the last record that I made where I, assumed that no one was going to listen to it. And I also kind of thought the lyric would go over people's head a little bit, or people wouldn't be paying that close of attention. And then there's lyrics here and there that are just sort of clumsy, that I am embarrassed about a little bit, but, but no, I'm actually, as much as I am not a lyricist, I feel pretty good about, there's nothing that I'm going to be singing that I'm going to be bummed about, I don't think, on the redoing stuff. My wife, Karen, was really instrumental, too, in helping me she helped me craft things a bit, and I would run everything by her. I always felt really comfortable with stuff because she's just really smart and really sensitive, and she would never let me do anything that was too embarrassing or too incriminating or anything like that. So she was really honest, but she also appreciated me and wasn't, she let me do my thing, but she'd be honest and let me know if something wasn't good, and then she'd be sweet if she did like it. So
this is like a complete non sequitur, but I'm really interested to know, like, what are some of your favorite movies?
I'm right in the middle of Hundreds of Beavers. Do you know that one?
No, I don't.
It's a pretty incredible movie.
What's it about, if I may ask?
Just check it out. I don't even want to tell you.
Okay.
It's a special movie. I like growing up, David Lynch movies were important to me, and like Coen Brothers movies, and, I don't know, Scorsese movies. I like those. I'm kind of conventional. I'm not too into art movies. I'm not that into. I like Jodorowsky movies a lot. I guess those are art movies.
Sure.
But I became a Jodorowsky fan through comics, and that's my favorite thing is his comics. Yeah, the Incal and the Metabarons, and basically everything he does. But those Metabarons was my favorite. That was my introduction to him. I like his movies. I just like him. I think he's such a great thinker, and I think he's just such a well of imagination, and he like has a childlike imagination that I think.
Well, he's such a character too.
He's a little over the top in some ways for me. I'm not.
Oh, sure.
I don't. I think he's he's a little bit full of shit, but I think he's inspiring and really, yeah.
Have you seen the Jodorowsky's Dune documentary that came out a couple of years ago?
Yeah, totally. Great. I think that documentary is better than the movie Dune that he would have been. And then I know that he then took all those ideas and put them into comics, which I think are, again, better than the movie would have been.
Do you still read comics or, like, browse them at all? Like, or is that kind of just more like something you used to do?
A little bit. I mean, if Chris Ware does anything, or Daniel Klaus, there's a few people that I still follow, but not too much. Like I haven't read superhero comics since I was a kid, really. Here and there, I'll pick something up if I followed a couple different artists or writers a little bit. Like Frank Quietly was an artist that I thought was cool, so I'd read a few things of his here and there. But yeah, mostly just like Fantagraphics or Chester Brown stuff is really great. But and I have a friend who publishes some comics, and every once in a while will send me some stuff. There's another guy, I can't remember his name. He's so great. Has this comic right now called Sundays. It's coming out in a full book. Something Schroeder or something. I like Simon Hanselman. It's really great.
Okay.
And of course, Alex Graham, who did our record cover, a good cartoonist. So, yeah, there's stuff here and there. I just read a comic called Men I Trust. And I can't remember, Tommy someone, and I loved it. But yeah, I'm not as into them as I used to be, I guess.
When I got the When the Wind Forgets Your Name vinyl and like opening the gatefold, I'm like, oh, this is totally a little comic here, because I know you've had like a love for it. So I thought that was a clever way of doing it. Yeah,
so I discovered her through her comics, and then just asked her to do the cover, and she did everything on her own, just ran it by me, and I asked her to do a comic on the inside, and with no expectations or ideas, it's all hers. Just I just made the choices of, like I chose that I wanted her to do the front. I chose that I wanted her to draw that photo of us, and then I wanted her to do a comic, and everything else was her own interpretation of everything.
For all your album arts, is there how much is like your like, hey, I want this, and how much is just more like contact the artist and let them do whatever they want?
Pretty much the latter. I mean, the exceptions are Ultimate Alternative Waivers. That was Karena's idea.
Mhm.
Go to Sears. And the normal years, that was a friend of mine, Eric, did the front cover. That was his own thing. But the back cover, where it's like a the
Sgt. Pepper's thing?
What do you call that? Yeah, exactly. He and I drew that together. So that was one that I had that I worked on, that collaborated. But all the Tay stuff is just 100% him. I never said a thing. He did it all. That's Keep It Like a Secret, Perfect From Now On, Ancient Melodies, the live record, and all that. He just did whatever he wanted. Then the Mike Shear stuff is all stuff that he had sitting around, and I picked it. So You and Reverse, There Is No Enemy. Yeah, those are his pieces, and I picked them. And then Untethered Moon, I did that myself. And that one, I wanted it to be, I just didn't want there to be a moon on it. That was kind of my only prerequisite. And then I kind of wanted it to be like, something simple, kind of like iconic shapes or something, sort of like the Halo Benders records, Calvin design, just these kind of shapes and colors. And then I couldn't really do that. That's not me. I don't have that kind of mind for design and color. And so I decided to look through my photos on my computer and pick my favorite photo. And so that's what that one was. And then the back cover, I was kind of getting into Jodorowsky and the Tarot and found the moon card, but I found like a really cool version of it. And then I couldn't find a good version of it, a good resolution. And so I had a friend of mine paint it from looking on the computer at what it was kind of supposed to look like. And again, just the bottom of the card, leaving the moon off. Yeah, so the card's like long, so square, and then to keep the moon off because I didn't want there to be a moon on it. For the Alex Graham thing, I was going to say one thing about Alex Graham's record, that the only thing that I wanted, it was kind of like that Untethered Moon thing where I just didn't want the record to be, like I thought about it for a while, When Forgets Your Name, and images that would conjure up. And I just thought the title was kind of pretentious, so serious and beautiful and solemn. So I wanted Alex Graham, I picked her and then told her too, like I want something like silly and bright and colorful and not solemn or, to not have anything to do with the way the title sounds to me.
Who did the art for Nothing Wrong with Love?
That one's kind of that to me is a failed thing. And I think people like the record cover, and I've grown to like it too. But I had the concept at that time of a white cloud on a white background. That was what I wanted. But my idea was like a photograph of a cloud, like a hyper-realistic cloud on a completely white background, like a white record cover background, So it just looked like instead of being in the sky, it was just sitting there on the record. This was before Photoshop stuff. So I had the concept, and I asked Chris at Up Records if he could try to figure out how to get it done, and he wasn't really able to. And then it's kind of like we ran out of time, and this what was there was kind of a last minute thing, and I was pretty bummed about it because I was so clear in my mind what I wanted it to be. There's really nothing close to it, but it's become its own thing. And I thought, and the photo on the back I love a lot. The
wheel with the smiley face.
Yeah, I think that's a really great iconic photo. It kind of saves the record cover for me.
Because I've seen some CD copies of Nothing Wrong with Love where you can barely see the cloud. I always just thought that was a misprint. So knowing that that was kind of intentional, I'm like, oh, okay, they didn't just fuck up the CD there.
I don't know if it was intentional or not. I don't know how much. I feel like not much thought went into it at that point. I think we just ran out of time. This record to come out on time, and that was. We just went with something someone kind of threw together. And I don't want to throw shade on the artist because I know that he has he didn't have much to work with, but
Sure.
that's not at all what I had in mind. And that's the thing too, is I had an idea and it was impossible to do, and then someone else told someone else my idea, and then they had to come up with something. So, it was doomed from the get-go for that.
Doomed from the start. So I'd love to know about Water Sleepers, because it's one of my favorite cuts off an album. I know it's a cover, and because I know it's like a UK bonus track, and why that was, if that was a choice by the band to only have it be on the album in the UK.
Well, that's a song that this local guy Tim Andreas did, and he toured with us a little bit. He called himself Bales of Hay, H-E-Y. He's a really great kind of blues guitar player and poet, kind of performance artist sort of guy. Really interesting, cool guy. He actually has a really great radio show. My favorite radio show. If you want to give a listen, it's kind of plays a lot of weird blues and world, obscure old world music, and then also will play some local stuff and some punk stuff on Radio Boise. Do you know that at all? Radio Boise? It's an incredible radio show just to find some strange music, but good strange music. Yeah, you just go to Radio Boise and listen, and his show's called Greasy Greens, and there's an archive too. It's like a 2-week archive. So anyway, he wrote that song. I loved it so much. We recorded it. It was about his cousin who drowned. And the lyrics are so beautiful and sad, and the melody is so nice. And his version's great, just stripped down, him and the guitar. And then basically I pick the songs that go on the record, and that's the record to me. And then every time we make a record, the overseas people want bonus tracks. And every time I'm annoyed by it, and I'm like, I don't know. And somehow we find something. So that's how that ended up on that, because they require something.
I don't know how much you remember of this, but I would love if you could fully tell the 5-on-3 story about in Boise. I've heard talkings of it about the kid who got on acid, and then you wrote the song about it. That's really all I know.
Yeah, there's just whatever in the 80s, late 80s, it's in the news, and it was a couple of kids, 5-year-old and a 6 or 7-year-old or something, and they found some acid and supposedly took a lot of it, and I can't remember much. I remember one of them saying there were G.I. Joes growing out of the sidewalk, but that was when I was a teenager, and I, a time when a friend of mine and I made up the song together, and it's kind of a time when we could make light of such things. I played it one time at an acoustic show, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago or something, and my wife's father was there with the woman he was dating, and she was like, "Is that about Ben?"
So again, another deeper cut question: the song "Easy Way" that was done for Perfect From Now On, but left off the record, and then there's the song "The Last Long Song." Both songs have a kind of a similar feel to them, and then they both use the same synth line. So I was wondering if was "Easy Way" almost like a demo for "The Last Long Song," or other way around. That's always been interesting to me.
Yeah, "Easy Way" was first. We did it for Perfect From Now On, and it's Peter on drums and me on everything else, and then didn't make it onto the record. And it didn't make it onto the record. I don't know if it would have made it anyway, but we just we mixed the record, and we were so burnt out, and I was like, we got to mix "Easy Way" though, and Phil wouldn't do it. Phil was so burnt out. We kind of got in a fight about it because I was pissed off that he wouldn't mix it. So it didn't come out. And then maybe a couple of years later or something, I just decided, that I didn't really care for it and wanted to try using some of the parts in a different song. So we just recorded that other one, "Last Long Song." Was just a little, just for fun, me and Brett and Scott. I don't think Jim's on that. I think it's just me and Brett and Scott. Maybe around Keep It Like a Secret time, maybe after that. We just recorded it, and that was that. Not really any intention of doing anything with it other than just get it out of my head.
Sure.
There's a couple places in my neighborhood that the crows don't want me to go. Sometimes
if one dies, they all like kind of like group together.
Aww.
Or they don't sound happy though.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I just got a couple more questions. Was the song Cracked and Crazed, I heard that was not written by you and was written by the film's director. Is that true?
Yeah, he was making a movie and reached out to a few people to record songs that he'd written, and I was like not really interested, and then I liked the song a lot and I wanted to give it a shot, so it was just me and then Ralph on drums. Just recorded in my studio. Yeah.
Oh, okay. On When the Wind Forgets Your Name, there's, I think it's Elements, has some keyboards. Is that Sam Coombs or is that someone else playing?
Yeah, it's me, but it's very pieced together. I can't, a slow, long process of punching in and out to do it.
You kind of touched on this, but like with a lot of like some 90s bands like starting to like do like deluxe versions of their albums where they put out like whatever B-sides and demos. Could you see Built to Spill doing that in the future, or like do you just feel like that stuff should just kind of stay put?
Well, I think if any asking me this question, I would say we don't really have much stuff lying around, but you seem to know about a bunch of stuff we have lying around. So
it's true. It's kind of my job here.
You know, like for each record, there's really not that much stuff, and not that much stuff that I don't know. I don't know. I don't really think about that stuff. I'm not against it, but it doesn't excite me. I can't really think of stuff that I get that excited about. But at the same time, listening to the things that you put up, like the stab ending or something, I can see how that stuff can make more sense today than it did, even 10 years ago, because of streaming and just the what records are. Because people, I think, might listen to music in a way and then kind of collect things in a way. And for something like this, like it's people don't buy a record because they're going to listen to it. Some of them do, of course, but it's not like there can be songs that someone listens to one time and is like, okay, that was interesting, and then put it away. And I think that when in the past, I would think that's kind of a ripoff. But I think today, if there's a record out there that you listen to one time and be like, okay, whatever, that was interesting, but so what? I feel like our music could be that and be fine. Does that make any sense? That answer?
I think so.
I mean, I don't think that version of Stab would be something that anyone would want to listen to a bunch.
Sure.
That there's just not much there. It's just like a little throwaway idea. I don't really want to put out music like that. That's kind of throwaway music. But it has a place. It's just on a record that, and then we're this far into our career makes a difference too, where it's kind of at the end of us or close to it, or maybe it's over, who knows, but it makes sense to release things like that at this
like legacy content almost.
Yeah, exactly, totally. Just stuff to look back at and go, oh, that's interesting, that's how that started or whatever, because people who have spent a lot of time with the original material would find interesting. So I'm not against it, but it's also not it's not interesting to me either, really. I think your YouTube channel does that. It seems like an interesting place for that to go down, I guess.
Yeah, because someone had sent me like a early version of Done from There Is No Enemy that you guys had recorded during You in Reverse. That is like, it's like super stripped back and it's mostly just you on like acoustic guitar, and there's like someone like doing like this like horse trotting sound in the background. but it's like still like, I know it sounds funny, but it's still like this like beautiful, like, because it still has that same like melancholic feel that the album version does, but still like different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like stuff like
maybe we should do something. Maybe you can help put some stuff together and see if we could make something that would be an interesting, not even like a deluxe version of an album though, just like a whole separate thing of demos and outtakes that make some kind of sense to release to people. That might be an interesting idea.
Well, actually, I put together a compilation kind of for myself. I called it Every Thousand Normal Years, which I thought was a very clever name, which I basically picked up where the normal years left off and just took like all your guys' like EPs and B-sides, split them up into like a studio and a live one. I'll just read the track list off to you. I have Scaring, Easy Way, By the Way, 5 on 3, the Just a Habit, the Spunk version you guys recorded, which I love. Forget, Remember When, and Now and Then. Last Long Song, instrumental number 2, which was what we were talking about earlier. That's the B-side. This is what I believe with Mr. Crowley, the Wait demo that you guys put out as like a B-side on streaming for Conventional Wisdom. They Got Away, Rearrange, Come Over, Cracked and Crazed, Water Sleepers, and then Fuck 2016.
And
then the live version is just a bunch of like various albums and stuff. But I mean, if you're interested, I would fucking love to help out in any way, shape, or form. This is again what I love doing. So
cool. Well, I think a couple things. One thing is it gets tricky because of rights and stuff, and a bunch of that's Warner Brothers. But I don't know. I think another thing is it's hard to get me to do anything. I don't know. It's something I'll think about a little bit though.
Okay.
If I want some help, if I do start doing some stuff, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'm more interested in more obscure things. In a way.
Like,
I don't know.
What kind of stuff like do you have in mind? Or what are you thinking about?
I guess one thing would be like I don't know what of that stuff is on Spotify. Is all that stuff not on Spotify?
There's a couple like They Got Away, Come Over, but a lot of the early like pre-2000s is barely on Spotify.
Well, and I don't have my stuff organized very well over here. I wish that I had because I definitely have some other sort of weird demos here and there, but it's like CDs and then things that are on a computer that's an old computer that I don't even know if it'll turn on anymore, you know. But I don't know. If I get around to thinking about it more, I'll let you know. In the meantime, just keep running your YouTube channel. I appreciate all your interest and enthusiasm about my music. It's really sweet, and it's really nice to talk to you. It's nice to talk to you because I do interviews and they're usually pretty nice. The people are nice and stuff, but it's cool to talk to someone who so thoroughly knows my career and stuff. It's really flattering and sweet, so I appreciate it a lot.
Again, it literally is like legitimately an honor to be to talk to you and do this interview. My parents got me into this band. There's actually a very funny story. When my mom was pregnant with me, she went to one of you guys' shows, and some like dude was like heckling you guys, just being an asshole. And my mom just like full pregnant, just like went in his face and like, "Fuck you, get the fuck out of this show!" Like just like hopped up on hormones and he just like got out. I was like, I love that story.
That's good.
So these are very deep rooted like love for this band.
In your blood.
Yeah, and we were chatting on Saturday just about stuff, and they were like, "Can you ask Doug like why he chose Calvin to be his bandmate?" I'm like, yeah, it's always that is a fair question.
I'll tell you why, because
okay.
Yeah, I was I wasn't much of a Beat Happening fan. I kind of knew a couple songs, but they weren't really my cup of tea. And then I saw them. Tree People went on tour, and we played with them, and they blew my mind. It was like so punk. Like Calvin was just out of his mind. It was so good.
Sure.
And I loved him. And then I started listening to him a bunch. And then I moved back to Boise. It was before the first Built to Spill, or maybe kind of during, while I was writing that stuff and recording it, the Ultimate Alternative Waivers. I wanted to make music. I was like, I want to do some stuff where I don't sing, where I just make some music and someone else sings. And
sure.
I was like, it would be cool if Morrissey could do it, but he probably, I don't know. And then I was like, well, Calvin's an amazing singer, and I don't really know him, but I kind of know people who know him, and you know, we did play that show together and stuff. So I just reached out to him, kind of told him who I was, and asked him if he was up for trying to collaborate, like long distance. And like I'd send him some music and he could sing over it. And he's like, oh, I just bought some gear and setting it up in my basement. If you want to come here and we can just work on it together. And that was it. We just didn't know each other at all. And I went to his house, and he had like, the gear in his basement was like a recorder and a mixer, and that was about it. A couple of preamps. It was like the most bare studio I've ever seen. And we started fucking around and making stuff up together. So it was really,
that's great.
Yeah, I just thought he was a good singer and an interesting artist.
Yeah.
And he said yes. I don't know why he said yes, because I feel like he really wasn't too into Tree People. He kind of booked a couple shows by us, but we never really talked. And felt like he wasn't really a fan or anything. But I knew that some of the people that were friends with him in Olympia were fans, and I felt like they might put in a good word for me. But then I think I just reached out to him, and he just said yes. I don't think I even had to sell myself to him at all. Okay. He was just open to trying things. I don't think he was a fan at that point. But then we became friends and fans of each other's music.
Interesting.
Call.
Funny that you brought up the Morrissey thing. Is that kind of what inspired that Smiths cover that you guys did?
I don't know. I can't remember. I mean, not really. I don't think I told him that he was my second choice, but I think we just both were Smiths fans. I don't remember how he decided to do that song. I don't know how he decided to do the Death of a Disco Dancer on tour.
You guys covered that?
Any of that came about. Yeah, just on the tour,
wow.
Halo Benders tour. So there might be something out there of it.
I haven't seen anything. That's fascinating to hear. Oh man, I would love to hear that.
Like I don't know if it was 5 or 10 or 7 shows or something. Just a little West Coast tour. Back in, I don't even know what year it was, 95 or something like that, maybe 6. Anyway, yeah, maybe there's something of it. It was back before very much stuff even got recorded. People had to have a camcorder and stuff, you know.
Yeah, there's like 1 or 2 videos. It's like you guys performing live. Like one's at like a record store, and then I think one's like where you were also where Built to Spill was also playing.
Capitol Theater, totally.
That's the one. Yeah. No, I haven't heard anything about a Death of a Disco Dancer cover. That sounds so cool. Man, now I'm bummed that I can't hear that.
You should reach out to Calvin and see if he has a copy of it somehow.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Did you guys ever, like, record it, or was that just completely a live thing?
We just did it live, yeah.
Okay. That is all my questions. Yeah, thank you again, like, so much for, again, helping and doing the interview and just doing you.
Yeah.
It's great.
Thanks for all the sweetness and all the work you've done. You guys gonna go to our show in Portland?
We're going to the show in Tacoma.
Did you want to go to the Seattle show?
We can't make. We're going to the one in Tacoma, but we can't make it to the Zoo Tunes one.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
So I think it's just sold out.
Yeah, I can give you tickets.
I don't want to be that guy though. I don't want to just
Oh no, that's not a guy at all. That's part of the job, and we do it all the time for people that I know less than you.
Okay.
Yeah,
if you would, that would be fucking awesome.
No, that's like one of the pleasures of doing this is getting people into the shows. So it's all we do is write your name down. It's such a simple thing to do, and it doesn't cost us any money or anything. It's really
okay. Then
simple thing. So send over, if you want to put a couple people on, text letting me know what names to put on the guest list.
Okay.
And I can do Tacoma too if you want. And so yeah, whatever shows you want to go to, just let me know. That's really an honor for me to do that for you. Like I said, it's easy for us. It's so easy and a pleasure for us to do that. It's not a big deal at all.
Okay. And then let me know if you you're supposed to be getting the Perfect From Now On demos tomorrow?
Yeah, supposedly they'll be here tomorrow, and then at some point I'll listen to it, and then I'll see if I want you to hear it, and if I do, I'll figure out a way to get it to you.
Yeah, because I can totally help organize and do all the things to make it sound good or whatever.
Cool.
Thank you again so much.
Thank you.
I'll see you on tour, I suppose.
Yeah, well, don't forget to remind me of names you want on the guest list.
Oh, for sure. I'll text you when it starts coming closer too.
Sounds good. Perfect.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Take care, buddy. Bye.
You too.